All my fellow weebs and weebettes, I am AnimeALX, and you are at the monastery of the anime acolytes. I completely fucked this up, but you know. Anyways, welcome all my acolytes. Hello, hello, hello. Also, do I have my chat box muted? No, I do not have my chat box muted. I don't know why nothing popped up. I'm gonna just test that. Yeah, oh, I know why my chat box doesn't work. It's because my Windows capture is above it. Yep. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. I'm actually going to adjust the screen a little bit down. Can I all right, that's maybe a little bit too big, so let's dial that back. Okay. Testing. Yep, testing. All right. I mean, I think this will be good. Possibly, maybe, hopefully. Okay. Yeah, all right. This is good because I'm not trying to have all that white space. You know what? What I'm going to do is actually turn this to night mode. Or presentation mode. I totally forgot to change that to presentation mode. That is actually all on me. And now it's better. Okay. Anyways, my cat is still here. Hello, Oliver. Anyways, we are here going to rate every single Monster Hunter map on stream, live on stream, and I'll pretty much upload this to YouTube after it gets done and uploaded. So if you are watching this on YouTube, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. This is all going to be for fun, all in my opinion. Here's the tiers. We have S tier, which is real Lechuga hours. Shouts out Taga. We have A, which is Fugan approved. B, which is decent. C, which needs some work. And D tier, which is rather play Frontier. So, with all that being said, I'm your host, AnimeALX, and we will be getting into the first map, which is the Ancestral Step. This is a map that came in Monster Hunter 4 in the 4th generation. I do remember this. I will say I do like Ancestral Step. I do have a funny memory of it where I got completely sniped by a Rajang, from below, and I could not see the beam, so I just got completely blasted as a light bowgun player in Monster Hunter GU on this map. So it's pretty cool. You have the little rocky area where you can fight Astalos in Monster Hunter Generations and GU. You have Gormagala usually spawns here, Rajang spawns here, so you know. Also Tigrex spawns here. So this is a pretty interesting map. Also, I think my cat wants out. Give me like 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that, peeps. So here's the thing. Or actually, I don't even need my headphones because I'm not even listening to any audio. That's the funny part. But Ancestral Step, I believe I would say would be Fugan improved. Pretty solid, nice areas, nice mix of grassy to very rocky and watery. Did I just say watery? I'm thinking the water puddle. But anyways, that is the Ancestral Step. We're gonna put in an A tier, Fugan improved. Pretty good. Next to come up on our list is the Ancient Forest, which I'm going to place straight in D tier. Ancient Forest is a map in Monster Hunter World. And in Monster Hunter World, This map fucking sucks, and I mean it's absolutely god awful. I've been playing this game since late 2019, like around before Christmas of 2019, I believe. Either before Christmas or after Christmas of 2019. And man, it's 2022, so this would have been my third year third year since playing Monster Hunter World when it gets to December, and I still get lost in this goddamn map. The verticality and the confusingness of the jungles really, really makes this map just a pain in the ass to get through. It's so bad. There's some parts that aren't really that bad. I would say like maybe the Jagras Cave, possibly that little out area by Camp 1, or like that open field area of Camp 1, and a little bit in the back, and you can also wall bang monsters into some trees to get them trapped in vines, which is pretty cool. So I mean, even though I don't like the map, it does have some quirks about it, like hitting the rocks down on monsters, basically trapping monsters in the vines and whatnot. It has some quirks to it that make it interesting, but the whole map layout is just god awful in the middle, and especially when you're trying to fight someone or like a monster like Kushala or Rathalos that always spawn at the top, and you have to do that whole just walk to the top if you don't end up spawning up there. And also my least favorite part about this map is sometimes spawning all the way in the canopy on those like tiny branches that are very linear. I don't know why we spawn up there. There's like no camp around there, but somehow we just spawn up there, and then you have to like take a million years just to get all the way down, just to go where you are. And also, don't get me started about the scout flies. The scout flies are like actual garbage in that map, because they literally take you every which way, or every which way that's not even the correct direction. It pisses me off to no avail. I don't. Let's never have a map this like just this complex ever again, because it was just not fun going through it, honestly. Moving on to the Battlegrounds. Now, the Battlegrounds is a map from Monster Hunter Freedom Unite and I believe Monster Hunter DOS. I know it's for sure in Freedom Unite, so this is a second generation map. This is where you fight Crimson Fatalis and where you fight a Cantor. So this is an arena map, and I'm just gonna give it straight decent. I mean, arena maps serve the purpose as arenas. Some look better than others. Obviously, this is just the volcano, and why I put this in decent is mainly just due to the fact that for me it has a lot of similarities to the other ones on the like upcoming in the stream or in the tier list. And for me, if I'm going to go with one arena that is lava based, I'm going to go with I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to go with another one that's going to be coming up in the future or later in the stream. And for me, it's very plain. Obviously, it's Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, so I can't really say it's C or D, because, you know, this is essentially the precursor, the original like lava battle map or lava arena map, so I can't really fault it for that. So it does its job, so I'm gonna give it B. Enough said. Castle Schrade. This is the first one. This is the first real Lechuga hours. Real Lechuga. The real Lechugas play on Castle Schrade, because Fatalis, because this is Fatalis's map, obviously. You also fight White Fatalis on Castle Schrade. So really, really cool. You have ballistas, you have bindings, and in World, we got that really cool animation sequence when Fatalis will fly up, use Fate of Fire, and will either one-shot you if you do not make it into the back gate and pull the lever in enough time. So it's a very fun, it's a very fun and interactive map, and that's what I like about it. And just even if you're playing the older games and you're not really worried about using the ballistas and trying to one-shot binariums, it's still a pretty nice looking map. It's very unique. I like how you're just kind of on this high up castle platform fighting like essentially the final boss, like the boss of Monster Hunter. It's very atmospheric, and I really do like it. Castle Schrade is a banger, very much a banger. Anyways, going on to the Caverns of El Dorado, the Call of Teroth map, and hello, Wait HD, hello, first time viewer. If you do, and remember, if you do like the content, please leave a follow. I will be doing some more Monster Hunter streams over the weekend to get back in the sway of things. So if you do actually like, playing Monster Hunter and you want to play with the gang and I, feel free to leave a follow on twitch.tv/AnimeALX, where it's all fun, all laughs, and all W's. But getting back, so I guess I gotta ask the chat about this one. So I'm very tied. Is it A, Fugan approved? Is it S, real Lechuga hours, or is it B, decent? Because I can literally go into any three of these categories, and the reason would be, actually, wait. Now we only fight Colve. This is Colve's arena, so I feel like Colve would have a lot to do with just how unfun this is. But I also have to think about it in how are we rating it? Are we rating it from the raid Colve, or are we rating it from the mission, like the mastering mission of Colve? Because if it's the mastering mission of Colve, I probably would say it's either around A or S. If it's the raid, then it's like B. But possibly also A. It's very weird. I guess I can split the difference and give it A, and I'll explain my reasonings. But I kind of wanna wait and see what you guys think in the chat, if you guys are in the chat, because I know I'm streaming this like really pretty early in the morning, where like all my viewers aren't even on. Decent. So okay, so we got one for decent. I would like to ask the reason. I would like to ask the reasoning for the decent one. Like, all right. So we got one for decent. If we're getting one for decent, then it's not an S tier. I'm gonna split the difference and go A, Fugan improved. And now, actually, yeah, no, decent. Decent. Because the reason, my thought process, the reason why I would say A, Fugan improved, like, it's a pretty beautiful map, and also you can get a lot of money from the Gajalakas. You get a lot of money from like Colves and like the whole gold scarab or gold crabs, whatever, taking Colve parts. So you can get a lot of money. This is like a really good Zenny farm map. But the thing about it is, if I'm rating this from the raid standpoint, the chasing Colve and breaking her parts was god awful. That shit was tedious. Now, getting into the master rank where you fight Colve, it's pretty good. But then in the master rank version, she unrobes or undresses herself, or you undress her, and I know that sounds so wrong. And she goes into the second area, but technically third area. But in the raid, she doesn't lose the gold portion until she goes into the final area. And this is pretty interesting because in the raid version, you have 2 pillars that you could drop on her, and you can easily drop it on her because her little robe is a hitbox, so you have a easier time hitting her with the pillars. But in the master rank version, you only get 1, and since she doesn't have the robe, her hitbox is pretty tiny, so you can end up missing the knockdown with the pillar. And one of my things that I do dislike about this map is definitely the molten lava, and that was the make or break. And that is the reason why I'm not going to put it into Fuga and Improve. It's the lava just running down. If they removed that part of this map, it would have been Fuga and Approved hell. It might have been real Lechuga hours, but it's just that molten lava in that last level that is just completely unnecessary, dripping from the ceiling, because it just ruins your combo sometimes. You don't even see it dripping if you're underneath Colve trying to attack her chest, and then it just hits you out of your combo, or in some cases can actually just even... have I even died by it? I mean, I probably died by it trying to run away from Colve, and it just on low health, and it just dripped and hit me. But that's just the problem of that map. It's like the first area when you're chasing Colve sucks. The second area, or technically the first area when you are fighting her in master rank, pretty fucking decent. Although Colve is very fucking annoying because her hitbox is super, super huge. So, I mean, even then it also gets annoying. And then the second area of master rank, or third area of the raid, is actually really, really fun. So, I mean, I guess we only have one bad part, one bad part, one decent part, one good part, and one part that needs some work. So we're just gonna split the difference and go be decent. I know that was a long speech and rant on Caverns of El Dorado, but let's move on to the Confluence of Fates. This is the map where you fight Xeno'jiiva at, and honestly, I'm just going to put it at A. And the reason why I put it at A is because I really do like the background. It's very vibrant. It's a very nice blue. Xeno'jiiva is a pretty decent fight, so it doesn't really harm the map. I will also say that you do get to go to 2 different areas. You only get to go to one area if it's the AT Xeno'jiiva fight, but you do go to 2 different areas when you're fighting normal Xeno. So that's pretty cool. You have a little scenery change. All that being said, I think Confluence of Fates is a pretty solid arena and is very beautiful to look at. And the fight's not that bad. So, Fuga approved. Next on our list, Coral Highlands. This is another Fuga approved map. Very beautiful. My favorite map of Monster Hunter World. This is supposed to be basically the watery map or the swamp map, but there's no water in it, but everything is very plant-based, aquatic plant-based, hence why they call it the Coral Highlands. It connects to the Rotten Vale, so you get some Rotten Vale monsters coming in there, like Odogaron, and it has a really, really nice range of just monsters you can fight here. And especially, it's just so beautiful. It's not too big. It's definitely not too big, and the only drag on this map would be having to go all the way up to the top just to fight Kirin or Namiel. But if you have the gliding mantle, you can just take the elevator all the way up or like the little vent all the way up. I also like the very small hidden areas. There's just a lot to explore that you wouldn't even like think of, because for me, after all these years playing this game, I didn't even know that there's like a little zip line in the back of this map until like a month or so ago, or like a couple of weeks or so ago, beginning January. It's pretty crazy how many like little things you can find. Also, you have like a lot of sleep toads. It's a very good map to grind for sleep herbs and whatnot if you're trying to make like sleep ammo, and also like sleep coatings, which I use it for sleep coatings. But fairly good. Not too big. And that's about it. Very beautiful map. Now, time to go to the Coral Palace. I actually did not realize that this is called the Coral Highlands and this is called the Coral Palace. I wonder if they're connected to each other. I really doubt it, but I'm gonna put it in Fugan Improved, and the only reason why I'm putting in Fugan Improved because, one, we start off with max spirit birds. 2, really beautiful scenery. It feels very ancient and worn down. 3, the fight. Actually, no, you know what? No, Coral Palace is real Lechuga hours. Why? Because I just thought of it. The fight. It's so great. It's so great. Like Narwa and the Narwa and Ibushi fight is very great. Narwa will end up dropping down and turning into All Mother. Narwa and the lower levels, Magnamalo comes down, or Teostra and Kushala will come down, and you can basically Wyvern ride them to like beat the shit out of All Mother. There's like just really cool sequences where you're hopping on rocks to shoot the cannons to shoot Narwa or Bushi down, or you're trying to avoid like a big AoE attack going underneath the rocks, or you're pulling the lever to basically Dragonator. There's just so much moving parts of this map that I fucking love it. It's so great. It's so fucking great right now. Desert or Dune. So this did get a rename in GU, but it was called Desert in, I believe. This is a Monster Hunter 1 map? I want to say it's a Monster Hunter 1 map. I could be wrong. It could be a second generation map, but I do think it is a Monster Hunter 1 map because you do end up fighting Monoblos. This is like the first map you actually fight Monoblos in. So yeah, it is a Monster Hunter 1 map. So OG desert map. Let's see. I do remember this map pretty vividly. I mean, it's pretty much standard. A lot of open areas. Not really that bad. There's really just not there's really not that much to say about it, honestly. I think this is the wait a minute. I want to say this is the map where you can actually jump behind you into the well and go out on the other side. Now, I might be wrong about actually, no. I am wrong about that. Desert or Dunes is the other one. Let me like look this up really quick. Let me look this up really quick because I can Monster Hunter Dunes. I just need to look up the map layout. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know this map. Yeah, this is the map where you basically go out and you basically walk through a night portion, which is cold, a hot portion, which is hot. You can go collect the meteorites. You fight like Gendrome and you fight like Gendrome and like Plum Daimyo Hermitar from like 4, like Monster Hunter 4. Yeah, this is a 4th gen map. Yeah, that in desert would be like the original like generation. So it got remade in 4th gen. So yeah, Desert and Dunes is pretty decent map. I mean, I really do like the night and day dichotomy, because you know, in real life, when deserts are at night, they get really cold to like freezing temperatures, and when they're at the daytime, they're really hot. So I thought that was a really cool dichotomy with in Monster Hunter 4U. I don't think it has the same day and night in the original, but I'm just gonna go off of the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate version, since that's the one that I played. And I would say it's pretty good. I will say the only issue I do have is Area 2, when there's like a lot of hills. You can't like, you're basically hopping back and forth, and it's really hard to try to keep keep track of the monster, because you're trying to hop back and forth along like the little hills. So that kind of gets in the way sometimes, but it's really not that bad. Very decent map. Very decent map. Deserted Island. This is where you meet Devil Joe for the first time in Try. Now, I've never played Try, so take my comments with a grain of salt, but I believe that the Desert Island is a pretty decent map. I really do like the aquatic nature. Is fairly straightforward. There's like a little like cave where you could go and basically collect a lot of like iron and just mine a lot of stuff, or you just go around fighting the monsters. It's a very straightforward map. I really do like it. I really do like it. And it also gives you just some more, how can I say it? There's like the grassy part, and then there's the watery part, and it's just a very good like mix of two biomes, and it just blends together really perfectly. And all I can just remember is the Devil Joe scene where he just comes up and just completely wrecks the Jaggy. He just completely wrecks the Jaggy and just eats him. So for that scene, I do give it a decent. It will always hold a special place in my heart just because of that scene. So moving on to Elder's Recess. Okay, Elder's Recess. I'm gonna put it in need some work. Now, you might be asking, Alex, why does it need work? Now, the reason why I say it needs work is because there is only 2, and I mean count them, 2 areas where you can go to. You have 2 camps essentially. And one of them is where Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian and Nergigante will spawn, and that place is complete dumpster fire. It is a fucking dumpster fire. Why? The fucking spikes falling down from the ceiling, very annoying to fight monsters in there. Literally, having to chase monsters around is very, very annoying, especially when they're like Uragon and they just roll everywhere. And so you're basically having to try to catch up to them. If you're fighting like Bagel, or like if you're fighting Basilgeuse or like Seething Basilgeuse, then they always go, in Kushala, they always go up to the high point. So you're always have them doing a lot of climbing and shit. In the fire point, in the fire parts, god, like the volcanic eruptions just blowing up and just completely getting in your way, like at the Behemoth and like Teostra fights in that little like Teostra arena, is very annoying. The fact, and one of the things that does irk me about this map is there's no like those bugs that you can use your sling, like the little grappling hook to get up to higher levels. There isn't one of those to get up to that little area, like that little middle area. If you go down to the lava area, I don't really know how to explain it. I hope you guys can visualize it, but yeah, it's just that middle area. There's just no bug, and the only way to get up to that area is going through like a Gajalaka system just to like end up the other way. And then you have the Levisioth area, which, I mean, you just fight Levisioth in it, and it's just really boring. It's just a really boring and drawn out fight in that area. I don't like it. So, I mean, I would say it needs some work. And one of the things that it does piss me off about this map, it's a very minor nitpicky thing, but it's when I spawn in, I don't spawn in sometimes to like an actual like area. I spawn in all the way below in the back of like Camp 1, and now I have to like do this fucking hike all the way just to get to the monster where my friends literally spawn at the monster. It just I think Elder's Recess needs some work, just to change up a little bit. They just need to change up a teeny bit of stuff, and then it'll be decent. Everstream. I'm just gonna put in the need some work tier list, because honestly, the Zora Magdaros fight in this map is very boring. It's very dull. It's literally you just pelting him with cannons for a bit, flying onto Zora Magdaros's back to literally fight rocks, just to fight Nergigante, or you wait him out and he like pisses off and leaves. But if you're in the AT battle, then you actually have to fight and repel Nergigante. And then you use more cannons and ballistas just to hit Zora Magdaros until he pisses off. So, you know, it's very boring. I guess it's cool because, like, things are burning and it's like a huge ass kaiju battle, but, like, to me, it's just very boring. I really don't replay this map. Like, I don't wake up and say, man, I really want to play the Zora Magdaros fight, or like, I really want to fight Zora Magdaros. I really want to go back to the Everstream map. Like, I don't wake up and say that. Like, it's weird. Like, like I really don't like this, or not like this map. I just don't really think too highly of it, so it needs some work. The Everwood. I mean, look, you're either going to be on the fence where you think Evergood is like S tier real Lechuga hours on Monster Hunter 4, 4th generation Hunter all the way every day, best game in the series, I love me some Everwood, or you're probably going to be like me, or you're probably going to be on the other end and be all like, it's really not that good. All it is you just walk forward and stuff. And for me, see, here's the thing. I would say it needs, like, for me, I'm gonna split the difference and say it's decent, because I feel like it's neither good, but I can't really say it needs some work, because it literally, in the game it came from, it served its purpose. It's very hard. It is very hard to say, because you can go into the Everwood, you can fight some guild quests, some Apex monsters, and do like a lot of side stuff, and actually fight monsters and collect materials that you normally wouldn't get, like going through missions, like through the story. So I think the Everwood is cool, but the design of the Everwood could need some work. But for it being on a 3DS game, I really can't fault it, so I can only really go decent. That's how I feel about the Everwood. It's just a very linear map. It's very boring, but it is what it is, and it serves a purpose in the game, so I can't really fault it. So for that, pretty cool. It's decent. Flooded Forest 3rd Gen and 5th Gen. So I've never played Flooded Forest in 3rd Gen, but I know 5th Gen Flooded Forest is just a remake. And I actually really do like Flooded Forest. So I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt for the third gen version of Flooded Forest, and I'm just gonna put a Fugan approved. Why do I like it? You can basically get from point A to point B very fast. You basically the whole two camps in the fifth gen version. You basically don't even need a dog. You don't need a Palamute to transverse the whole map. There's a lot of really strong monsters to like Wyvern ride, like Valstrax and Rajang, Zenogre, Almudron. So very, very like great amount of monsters to Wyvern ride. You can also Wyvern ride Basil Juice. So that's fun. I do like my favorite part is actually the piranhas. You can completely throw some raw steak and get piranhas to attack the monsters, and I think that's really funny. I also really do like this whole Mayan pillar, like Aztec Mayan pillar that just kind of overlooks the Flooded Forest in the 5th gen. I don't know if it's there in the 3rd gen, probably not, because obviously the maps are kind of more broken up into sections instead of having like a full map with like a few areas that you can go through. So obviously 5th gen expanded more on the Flooded Forest, brought spirit birds, brought the whole like temple and everything in the background, and for that I think it's Fugan approved. Very beautiful map, nice scenery, nice monsters in the map, not too much of a pain in the ass to get around. So yeah. Forest and Hills are Verdant Hills. Verdant Hills is the Monster Hunter Generations Monster Hunter Generations remake of the first map of Monster Hunter, which is Forest and Hills. Now, again, this is one of those maps where I can't really say it needs work. I can't really say it's bad, but I can't really say it's good, and I can't really say it's god tier. I mean, if I really want to be very nostalgic, I would say it's real Lechuga hours, but honestly, it's pretty decent. Why I say it's pretty decent? Egg hunts. Egg hunts on this map were fucking terrible. Like, the way you had to do it was go all the way behind and up to area 6, scale all the way up to basically the Wyvern Den or the Wrath Den, take an egg, hopefully Rathian or Rathalos isn't there, peace out all the way on the back end, and try to make it out all the way down the cliff without breaking the egg, and you have to take some hops, and it's very annoying. It's just very annoying. Other than that, I guess it's pretty cool. Monsters can only really spawn in a few areas. You're either gonna get like the place where Yin Kaku spawns and Yin Garuga spawns along that huge strip, or you're going to get where the Wrath Wyverns spawn in their little cave, or outside the cave onto that little cliffside, or I believe there's also like a little section in the top left-hand corner where Bullfango spawns, or you're fighting monsters like Astalos and Velocidrome on the side little cliffs. So there's not that many places that monsters can spawn, so it makes it a very straightforward map, very linear, I could say. Again, it is the first map of Monster Hunter. There's really nothing more I can really say. I can't really judge it on like its surroundings and theme. It's just a grassy hill. You're just on a grassy cliff, so it's decent. Forlorn Citadel. This is a real Lechuga Hours map. Real Lechuga Hours map, S tier. Why is it S tier? You fight Atel Ka in this map. Why is S tier? Because Atel Ka is a fun fight. You face a goddamn gigantic mech, and you can also basically farm charms. If you like haven't beaten Atel Ka yet, which honestly Atel Ka isn't really that hard of a fight to beat. your first time around, but you can at least farm some charms before you go and farm Bracky in Generations Ultimate, doing the urgent coal miners needed quest to farm more charms. So it gives you a chance to farm some decent charms. It's a really fun battle, very unique, very different from all the battles or all the monster fights that we fought before in the series. We fight a gigantic mech, there's a Dragonator, there's like ballistas, there's like so much stuff in this map, and it's just a very cool desolate, like it's just a very cool desolate castle that's ran down since Atal'Qah took over the fortress. You start off and you can also get a lot of you start off and you can get a lot of first aid meds, defense, like adamant seeds, because Atal'Qah does give you defense down, I believe, and deodorant to basically get you out of Atal'Qah's silk so you won't get wrapped. Very, very, very intricate, very beautiful design. And also when you defeat Atal'Qah, like I love how the scenery starts changing, because at first it's very sandy, very cloudy. When Atal'Qah goes into her final stage after you like get her out the mech, and she has the gigantic wheel on her back and she's angry, it goes like nighttime. When you defeat Atal'Qah, basically all the clouds part and the sun comes out. It's just so beautiful. I love the fight. The map makes the fight makes the map. It's just very beautiful. Works in very harmonious synergy. So yes, Forlorn Citadel, S tier, real Lechuga hours. Only the real Lechugas play on that map. Fortress. Okay, so Fortress. I'm gonna put it in the need some work. So obviously this is the first map, the map for the first ever siege, and we've gotten Lao Shenlong. Now you might be asking, Alex, why are you putting it in need some work? I will explain to you. Now, unlike Caverns of El Dorado, unlike Battleground, where we got to fight like a few couple of monsters or one monsters, and it just never made a reappearance in the series, Fortress has made a reappearance in 1st gen, 2nd gen, and 4th gen. Hence why I say it needs some work. It needs to be expanded upon, or we just need better fight. We just need a better siege fight, because we literally fight Lao Shenlong, which is just a really slow and boring fight where you basically have to go over, put bombs in, use the little roaming cannon just to blow them up, put bombs on the tracks, go over. It's just a lot of tedious micromanaging, and to the fact that sometimes you can just outright lose because you didn't meet a DPS check or whatnot. I think the only cool part about this map is that you can jump on the back of Lao Shenlong and start farming, but then we got Ashen Lao Shenlong and also Shin Goran in 2 in the 2nd generation, which is why I'm basically saying that the Fortress needs some work, because we got another monster that uses the Fortress map. So, and it was Shin Goran, which was basically just gigantic slow moving crab. It's basically you just took Lao Shenlong and replaced it with a gigantic slow moving crab. The map is still very boring. It's very long and tedious, which is why it needs some work. It literally is a whole ass cutscene. You're playing a whole ass cutscene and trying to get the DPS checks, and this whole map takes like 15 or 20 minutes just to do, because you're trying to wait till some gigantic ass monster gets from point A to point B, and there's no way you can speed it up. Unlike Caverns of El Dorado, where by doing a DPS check, you can at least speed up this whole map. Or if you're fighting it on the Master Rank map, then you just basically beat the shit out of Colve until she moves areas. Everstream, I mean, it's kind of like the same, but I want to say you can at least speed up the process by beating the shit out of Nergigante and at least splitting up with your team and trying to take on one magma core at a time. But Fortress, it's literally just on a timer. There's nothing you can really do. It's just always going to be fucking long, boring, and drawn out. I sound so country. I don't know why I'm sounding country. Next on our list, Frost Islands. Okay, so Frost Islands. Frost Islands. Let me think. Frost Islands. Do I have any problems with Frost Islands? Actually, no. It's going to go into Fugan approved. Why is it going to go into Fugan approved or A tier? Is because the squids. The squids make this map. Why? Because if you get the golden squid, you basically have a huge affinity buff, you have a huge defense buff, and you can beat the shit out of the monsters. Now, whether or not you don't like that whole aspect and you think that's a little too overpowered, I can understand it, but I do think it's really interesting because it gives the map a little bit of flavor, and you basically can always just have fun replaying the map, going for the squids to buff yourself up, just god tier buff yourself up. You have this little cool like secret area where you can wire bug all the way up to like some secret arena, and it's pretty cool. The map, like, I mean, we have this map actually has 3 bases, 2 sub bases and 1 main base, so you can transverse this map pretty easily. And has a really good selection of monsters spanning from Gossarog to Tigrex to Bazelgeuse to Magnamalo, and I believe Rajang. Yeah, and Rajang. So Fugan approved. Fugan approves Frost Islands. Frozen Seaway. This is also another one of those Fugan approved maps, and the reason why I say Frozen Seaway is approved is because in 4th generation, Monster Hunter 4 Monster Hunter 4 Unite, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and like Monster Hunter Generations and Generations Ultimate in Monster Hunter 4, you can fight a load of monsters. You can fight Tidal Wave Najarala, you can fight Zamtrios, which is pretty cool. You can fight Barioth, you can fight Gammoth, Elder Frost Gammoth, and it's very also Zinogre and Thunderlord Zinogre. And then in the cave areas, you can fight Red Kezu and Normal Kezu. So I feel like it's pretty cool. It's very straightforward. You basically can go out of the camp straight forward and go up that little like highway. I just call it the Frozen Highway, where you can fight like Gammoth and Elderfrost around that area. And then you can either go to the caves or you can go to the little frozen sea next to it and fight Zamtrios and whatnot. So everything is very everything is very just straightforward. And that's what I like about this map. That's what I just like about this map. Everything is just straightforward. It's pretty cool how like the whole sea is frozen over. Nothing really gets in your way of the map. And with all that being said, yeah, Fugan approved. Probably my favorite ice map. The Great Desert. Now, the Great Desert is an arena where we fight one of the coolest, I mean, one of the absolute coolest fights ever. I mean, if you want to put it in real Lechuga hours, you can, but I don't know, like, is it Fugan approved or is it real Lechuga hours? But this is the map where you fight Darin Moran and Jin Moran in both Monster Hunter, and both in 3rd gen Monster Hunter and in 4th gen Monster Hunter. Obviously 3rd gen for Jin Moran and 4th gen for Darin Moran. And you're just on this little skiff. You're on a boat. And actually, you know what? I'm putting it in real Lechuga hours. Why? Because you're on a skiff, you're on a boat, you're fighting just a monster, a gigantic monster to the side of you. It's very cinematic. And then at the end, you pull over and you 1v1 him in an arena. And I think that's super, super dope. And you have like a lot of ballistas. You basically can just hop the monster and beat them. The monsters aren't really too hard. And if you're looking for a challenge, then maybe you would put it in A tier. But it's pretty darn good from like just a cinematic experience, and it's just really fun to play. So that's why I put it in S. Now if you put it in A because it's too easy, I understand that, but hey, I like the Great Desert. I think fighting Jinran and Darmaran are fun as hell, even though they're the same fight. Great stuff. Next on our list is the Great Forest, which is going to be another map that I'm going to have to Google up to see if I remember it. There's a lot of maps that I might just not remember, so I'm sorry if I'm trying to look it up. Wait, is this Freedom Unite? Wait, did they actually put the Freedom Unite map in here? Oh my lord, it is actually the Freedom Unite map. I mean, honestly, looking at this from a non-biased opinion, the map isn't that bad. It's very straightforward. There's only 8 areas you can go through. But I'm only really trying to go over the mainline games. So for this whole like segment, I'm just gonna put it in D tier, rather play Frontier, because you're actually playing Frontier. That's the irony of it. So it gets D tier, not because it's bad, just because it's from Frontier. So, and I'm just trying to go over the mainline games. Great Ravine. Wait, Great Ravine. What is the Great Ravine? Monster Hunter Great Ravine. Wait a minute. Oh my lord. Did they? Okay. I thought the Everstream was just one map, but apparently the Everstream and the Great Ravine are two different areas, which makes no sense. Like, actually makes no sense. And I'm just looking it up. And yeah, bruh. So the Everstream is the outside of the wall, or the first part of like the whole siege fight, and and the Great Ravine is like the inner part where you go to like the second portion of the fight after you fight like Nergigante and whatnot. So I'm going to put it with C, needs some work, because the same complaints that I have about the Everstream is literally the same complaints about the Great Ravine. They're literally just both parts of the same map. I really don't know why they had to rename it, but oh well. Now, let's get on to the Great Sea. This is definitely C tier. Actually, no. This is definitely D tier. Now, I will say... Actually, no. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's C tier. And the reason why I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's C tier is because you fighting on a ship in the middle of the ocean is fucking cool. Like, I don't think any Monster Hunter game has done that since Monster Hunter 4, and you fight Gore Magala and you have to repel him. My problem and my issue, however, is how the fight plays out. you don't have, like, it's essentially just a reskin of the Great Desert of the Dara Moran fight, only instead of Dara Moran is Gore Magala. But the problem is that you're facing Gore Magala and not like Dara Moran or Jin Moran, because the reason why Great Desert makes a really great fight is because you end up fighting them alongside and they're throwing boulders, they're trying to smash into you. You have to do the whole sequence where you have to grab onto the side and like hold on for dear life. You can hit when they try to like jump over and flip over onto the other side. That's like a whole cool thing, and you can hit the gong to like back them off and stuff, and you can go on their backs to mine and like fight them, and then you pull them over and you basically run them hands in an arena. Great stuff. The Great Sea, it's like you take the boat portion, but instead of putting it with the monster that's really good for like these scenarios, because they're just a gigantic huge cinematic fight, you put them with a normal monster that's doing normal monster things, and it's very fucking stupid because Gore Magala is like spamming. He's like flying and trying to spam you from range, and keep in mind you're doing all of this solo. This is a story map, so you can't fight this with your friends, so just take that in mind. So you're Gore Magala's only target, and he's flying, and if you're not a ranged user and you're a blade master, you're basically, you have to use the ballistas, but the problem is the ballistas shoot so fucking slow that Gore Magala will just hit you off and chip you off and could potentially kill you. Now there's a way to get around this, and that's if you're taking a lot of damage, don't even bother using your potions, because you can jump to the side off, climb all the way in the back, sleep in the bed, and go back up into the fight. It's very cheesy, but that's why it's also needs some work, because that whole strat kind of like adds a lot more time, but it's basically safer, and you won't stay in place to like drink a potion and get completely swamped by him coming down onto the ship. Also, the whole problem with this map is that the whole frenzy clouds are like everywhere, and you don't have a lot of room to move, so you're always going to be frenzied. But the kicker is that Gore Magala will fly in the air 9 times out of 10, because for most of the fight it felt like he was just in the air. So since I was playing longsword in the beginning of my playthrough in 4 Ultimate, before I swapped over to light bowgun at the start of G rank, literally 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't even be able to like defeat the frenzy virus mini game. Like I wouldn't be able to defeat the frenzy virus because he would stay up in the air. So I would have to always jump over to the side of the map to basically ward off the frenzy virus and sleep it off. The problems with the map are just simple. It's too small. Gore Magala does not work with the fight. It's cool and cinematic. I would like to have this fight with like some bigger monster similar to like Jin Moran or Dara Moran, and they can like rework the fight to that. But like with Gore Magala always flying, spamming out ranged moves, Frenzy Virus is like almost covering the whole damn map, and you can't even defeat the Frenzy Virus because he's staying in the air if you are a Blade Master weapon. That's basically why I gotta give it C tier. It needs some work. The only cool part about this is when you basically use the Dragonator and you basically stab him when he gets into the front of the ship. That's like the only cool part. That, and you're on a ship in rain, and then the cutscene afterwards. Guiding lands. Holy shit, we're actually getting the guiding lands on here. Okay. Guiding lands. What do I say about this? Like for real, like what do I actually say about guiding lands? I mean, it has a little bit of everything in here. You go to the guiding lands to farm like materials for augments, but I will say the guiding lands is very, very annoying when you're fighting tempered monsters, because it's like you're fighting the same monsters over and over again, but then you're fighting like a more stronger version of the monsters in Guiding Land, since you don't have any like, since you have infinite feints. I, I mean, you can level it up. I guess that's cool. I'm just gonna go with decent. It's really not too good because it gets really tedious at times, and trying to level up your areas is very annoying. You end up just fighting the same monsters over and over, so it's just really boring. I mean, you fight Raging Bracky in Monster Hunter World in it, so I guess it's cool. And this is where you first meet Zinogre, and that's also cool because the little cutscene where he just flexed on Rathalos and Diablos at the same time was awesome. But like, I would just say it's decent. It's just repetitive. That's my problem with it. It's just really repetitive. Heaven's Mount. This is a real Lechuga map. Heaven's Mount is so fucking beautiful. Playing it in Monster Hunter 4 and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, it's just so cool. I can't stress this enough. It's just so fucking awesome. It's a really nice, nicely thought out map. You have like this little mountainish region where like everything is kind of, all the rocks are trapped up in vines. There's a lot of areas for you to jump off of cliffs and get some free mounting damage. There's a lot of interactions with the monsters to certain areas of the map, like in Rathalos's nest. There could be a time where the whole nest could be breaking and wobbling, and you'll slide down the nest. In the whole area where you fight and meet Zinogre, Zinogre can destroy those areas, those cliffs that you can basically climb up top, and you can actually heal yourself and buff yourself and basically take a breather of the fight up there. There's also a little like crawl section space where you can get away. It's just a very beautiful map. I really do love this whole like cliffside, mountainous looking, real treacherous kind of theme. There is always fun to fight on Heaven's Mount. Real Lechuga map. Hoarfrost Reach. Okay, Hoarfrost Reach. What do I give Hoarfrost Reach? Do I give Fugan approved or do I give decent? I really don't know. I really don't know. Wait a sec. Yeah, I really don't know where I would put Hoarfrost Reach. I'm just gonna say decent. Like, nothing really strikes me about it. I guess having some cool avalanches are nice. It's really when you get into like the catacombs or like the below half, it kind of gets really tedious trying to go around in it. But everything is fairly straightforward. I think the Valcana little cave is very nice and very beautiful. It has a lot of strong monsters in here. And the whole little cliffside, like breaking off, and you can go down to the below, is kind of, I mean, it's cool, but very annoying. The freaking boas are sometimes annoying if they're trying to fight you. The wolves are eh. But other than that, I mean, I think it's decent. I think it's decent. It doesn't really strike me as like uber cool, but also you have that little I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna move it up to Fugan approved, because you have that little cool Rusted Kushala Easter egg on it, on this map, and I think this map just, it does what it needs to do. It's a fairly big map. There's a lot of quirks about it. A really good Easter egg, but nothing is like, nothing is too hard to get to. Everything is pretty much just straightforward. So I like it. Infernal Springs. These are the real Lechuga hours, mainly due to how little we are actually at this map. But Infernal Springs is one of the coolest fucking maps in the game. It's like right up there with Coral Palace. You fight like a handful of missions in here. Like you can actually count as many missions with this map on one hand in Rise. So we need more missions with this map, but it's very, very cool. It's this very weird infernal area where it's like this hot spring, so you have all that steam, but there's this like castle. And I think what makes this map really cool is that it's a secret map, so you have to defeat all the missions in high rank 7. I want to say 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, high rank 7. So yeah, it's just a really, really cool map. Or high rank 8. I think it's high rank 8. I either 7 or 8, but it's just a really cool map, and I really do like how this map was hidden. And I think we need more like of those hidden maps where you can basically do a lot of missions, or like all the missions, and then you get like a secret map, or like you get a special missions or a set of special missions on this secret map, and it just makes this map feel more special. So that's why I put it in Real Lechuga hours, is because this map feels just really, really special. Ingle Isle. So this is the volcanic map where you actually fight Bracky and the urgent coal miners needed. You fight like a couple of other monsters in here. I believe you also fight Berserk Tetsukabra, or that's on the map where it doesn't have the lava. Other than that, it's just I mean, it's decent. You know, it's decent. I feel like in some areas you don't have a lot of room to move around, but at the same time, the map is very straightforward and you're not really going to get mixed up where you're going. Other than that, my only complaint would be just some areas you just don't have a lot of breathing room or moving around room. And so some monsters with large AoEs like Bracky just completely shit on you, or like some monsters that just have sweeping beams that go so far, like Gravios and Black Gravios, also clap you on this map if you're not in the little open area on the below hand, or on the below. So I mean, it's good, it's decent. I just remember it for farming a lot of charms in Monster Hunter GU, so I guess it gets a B just for that. Jungle. See, I want to say I remember this map, but I also say I don't remember. Like, I want to say I do remember this map. Wait a minute. I think I do. Yeah, I actually do remember Jungle. And I'm just going to double check it right quick. It is from Monster Hunter 2, and I do remember this map because you go to that, you have that little island over there where you basically can fight Soulseer in Generations and Generations Ultimate and Silverwind Nargacuga. It is on the bigger part of the map, and I will say, like, this map is on the bigger side. It is very beautiful when you get to the beach area. The cave area is but it does kind of get, like, especially with flying monsters, it does get a little bit tedious because you don't actually know where they're flying, because they can either be at that back portion. They can either be at the back portion of the map, they can be either at the cave, or they can either be at like one of the cliff sides in the forest, and you just have to basically go like searching for them and finding them. I mean, it's a fairly good map. I would put it in decent. Like, it's not bad. It's not uberly good. Sometimes it can get confusing, but all around it's just really decent. Jurassic Frontier. This is the Monster Hunter Generations map, where it's basically Burna Forest, where you fight Glavenus and whatnot. You have that little area where Shin Goran is at, like a Shin Goran shell is at, in that bottom area. Then you have like the middle area with the forest and like the whole plainsy open area where you see all those like gigantic, like, I don't know what you call those brontosaurus looking monsters, or brachiosaurus looking monsters roam. I forgot their names, but you feed them Lagny apples. But and then you have that little top portion. I will say with Jurassic Frontier, it's a cool map. I do like the Shin Goran Easter egg, but sometimes, I mean sometimes, when you fight flying monsters on this map, it is a pain in the ass if you do not paintball them. I will always say paintball the monsters in this map, because there are so many areas that they can actually be in this map that when you like fight a flying monster and they fly away and you don't actually keep track of them, or they're one of those flying monsters that can just fake you out and go to another area like Rathalos or like Gypsaros, and sometimes it gets really tedious trying to find a monster. Like there's one time that I literally searched the whole entire map trying to find a monster. I forget what monster it was. It was a monster that I don't really fight a lot of times, and it so happened that they flew all the way down to the bottom where the Shin Goran was. I think it was Silverwind, actually. Yeah, it was Silverwind, which is a complete lie because I fight Silverwind is like my most hunted monster in Generations Ultimate, but Silverwind decided to fly all the way down on the bottom for some reason instead of going into the where like that little abandoned camp area is, and I believe area 5. It was really annoying. I searched the whole map and went all the way down to the bottom just to find him there. So yeah, I would say Jurassic Frontier is decent. The only problem is it gets very annoying when you're trying to find monsters, flying monsters. Lava Canyon. Okay, I will say Lava Canyon is Fugan approved. This is where, wait. Lava Canyon is where you actually fight a Cantor. I believe, no. Wait a minute. Sacred Land, Lava Canyon. Wait, am I getting like two things mixed up? I actually looked up Lava Canyon before this video just to see where it was, and I know a Cantor spawns on this, but I can't. But I literally can't remember the layout. I know this is an arena map. It was introduced in Portable Third, so obviously I didn't play Portable Third since it was Japan only, and the only way I can really do that is like getting a PSP and trying to get a Japanese copy, which would be very, very hard, or emulating it. But I don't think emulation is legal, so I can't really stream it for you guys. I mean, judging from the looks, I mean, there's like a little cool village over there. I mean, it's just your run-of-the-mill lava. Like, it's legit your run-of-the-mill lava canyon where you fight a Cantor and whatnot. I'm going to put this in decent, not because it's bad. I'm gonna put this in decent, not because it's bad, but just because, like, I like the other one better. Yeah, I just like the other one better. But I don't think the other one would go into like real Lechuga hours. So I'm gonna put Lava Canyon with decent. It's on like the same tier of Battleground. Like if Battleground was the OG, then Lava Canyon is just like its slightly updated brother. But they do like the same things. Moving on to Lava Cavern. Monster Hunter Rise Lava Cavern. I would say it probably needs some work, and the only reason, I don't know, because like it's grown on me. Actually, I'm just gonna say it's decent. I'm gonna say it's decent. Why? Because it's growing on me, and you can do some really cool things with running monsters into the map or into parts of the map, and you can either water blight them or fire blight them if you run them into like those explosion areas, which is really cool. There's like a whole lake area, which is pretty interesting. Do you get any special, like, I don't think you get any. Oh, well, I mean, you could get lantern bugs like really easily in this map. So I guess that's cool. And a lot of really good wyvern rides do spawn on this map. You got Teostra, Valstrax, Rajang, Basilgeuse. So, I mean, Rathalos, like, you have a lot of good options for wyvern riding. My only problem with this map would be like the layout to newcomers is very confusing, and once you get into like the cave system, it's very hard to tell where you're coming or you're trying to get out of, and trying to like wyvern ride a monster across the map to bring them to like the monster you're trying to fight is very annoying because you're having to go through a lot of obstacles and whatnot just to get to that place. And they could have made the map a little bit easier trying to transverse by lessening the invisible walls and letting you like go off of the cliffs and wyvern just like, you know, wire bug your way across the map off the cliffs. That's what I would have done. Much similar, like similarly to like Shrine Ruin. But I mean, it's, I guess, decent. It's decent in the fact that like it has its quirks. But if I were to say, it would be on a B minus. Like it barely scathes into B tier. Misty Peaks, Real Lechuga Hours map, beautiful map. My favorite, probably my favorite map in existence, honestly. It's that Yucomo Forest, is that very beautiful Japanese design. Water, you have a beautiful waterfall over there. You have that little swamplands. Nothing like, you have that little area with the whole felines and whatnot, and you can go over the bridge. And you can either jump over and go all the way up to Area 7, which is that like marshlands area, or you can go I don't think you can jump off the other way, actually, now that I think about it, but you can go all the way over to Area 7 through the bridge for some reason when you should be landing like at the base of the waterfall. But hey, I don't know why. And then you also have that little open area where you usually fight Mizutsune, where I'm trying to think, the broken down house is at. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but like that little broken down house where you normally face Mizutsune. And you can also easily get honey in this map because you can just go to where Arzuros spawns in the middle and just grind for honey that way. So I feel like everything is just, it's just kind of perfect because like you either go to the cave area where Rathian spawns to like mine for like ores and whatnot, or you can go into the middle section where Arzuros spawns to mine or to like gather honey or other plants and whatnot. You can go into the swamp part to fish everything, or you can go into the waterfall river area where you can also fish. Everything is basically just very, very straightforward with a very beautiful atmosphere around it. Yucomo theme is also really, really cool. So everything about this map is beautiful, perfect. Old Desert. This right here, it was the map that I was talking about where you could jump in the back of the well and end up in like the caves or like the another part of the map, or you can go out of the camp and go straight into the desert. Now, this map is kind of weird because it encompasses both a cold area when you go into the caves and a hot area when you go into the deserts. Other than that, I do feel like this map is pretty decent. You know, it's fairly big. Is where you fight Monoblos. It's actually the first place you fight Monoblos in Monster Hunter 1. So it is the OG desert map. So like I said, I can't really say it needs work, and I can't really say I'd rather play Frontier. It is the OG desert map, so it is decent. But even though it's very desolate and very, how can I say, it's just, yeah, just desolate. It has a very desolate feeling to it. Everything feels very, like, abandoned, very old, like no one goes through this desert. It kind of helps feeling that isolation and lonely feeling when you go through this map. But I think what makes this map really shine is that little fast travel area. And to you guys, you might not think it's very revolutionary because we can like actually go to wherever we really want in the map by going to the camps, in the sub camps in nowadays Monster Hunter. But back then, when you just jumped through the little, you know, well in the back of the camp where you spawn, you basically could just skip and go straight to some monsters that spawned in like the nearby area where you would come out the other side instead of having to go out of the camp and walk all the way around. So I would say it's decent. I like that little quirk about the old desert. Now, Old Jungle. What is Old Jungle? Because I was probably mixing up Old Jungle with the other jungle map, which was, yeah, just jungle. So why is there jungle and Old Jungle? I really don't understand. But hey, Old Jungle, it was in Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G. I know that. I know it was in Monster Hunter Generations, and I'm trying desperately to remember this map. I am trying, and I think I know what this map is. Looking at the pictures of it, I think I know what this map is. But I also might be capping. Who knows? I believe I fought Emerald Kongalala in this map. Fourth, like I'm trying because the pictures that they give don't really show around the map, and it does say it was in Monster Hunter Generations, so I'm going to guess it's in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, unless they like completely just replace this map in Generations Ultimate, and if so, I don't know why. But judging from the map, I mean, like, this is the Monster Hunter 1 jungle map. So judging from the map, I mean, it's very straightforward. I believe I've played on this map before. It's just looks like any other jungle. So I mean, I guess I'll just go decent. I'll play it safe and go decent because my memory is just like, I want to say I've played on this map, but I've also want to say like I didn't, and it's just like colliding in my brain. So I'm just gonna go decent, give it the benefit of the doubt. Now, Old Swamp. Old Swamp. What is Old Swamp? Because I thought Old Swamp was just swamp and marshlands. Unless they're the same thing, then I don't know why. I don't know why they would do that, but Monster Hunter. Old Swamp. This is Monster Hunter 1 Swamp. Let me... Okay, no, I did not actually play this. It is in Monster Hunter Generations. So did they just have Did they just swap maps in Monster Hunter Generations? Because I do not remember like going through a map that looked like this. Like it looks like swamp. I mean, honestly, it does just look like the swamp, only just not updated. So I mean, you could say it needs some work because it already got work, but I mean, it's fairly simple. There's only like 10 areas, and 4 of those areas are like side areas, or yeah, 4 of those areas are like side areas. So there's a little donut too. Again, for the benefit of the doubt, I'm just gonna go B. Sorry, I can't really speak more on these maps because I know I haven't played Old Swamp, but I guess I haven't played Old Jungle either. I believe I played them, but hey, it is what it is. But since they are from Monster Hunter 1, I can't really say it needs work because at the time it was good. And I can't really say it's Fugan approved or Real Luchuga Hour since I haven't really I haven't really fought on these maps, or I don't remember fighting on these maps, so it's B. Anyways, Old Volcano. Now I probably do remember Old Volcano. Old Volcano. Yep, I do remember Old Volcano. Yep, I do remember Old Volcano. It is in Monster Hunter Generations. Old Volcano. And what's weird is I actually looked up Old Volcano before starting this map, or this I did look up Old Volcano starting this stream. Might be Old Volcano. Okay, so Old Volcano, right? You start in like this rocky area and you're going up, and then you meet Bolfangos, and then you get to the volcanic part of the area and you go into like the little center part where all the Malinxes and felines are, and trying to navigate through this map kind of sucks sometimes because it's big and monsters, much like Jurassic Frontier, can spawn in almost anywhere here. And it also doesn't help when you fight like Levisioth in like Monster Hunter Generations in this game, Generations Ultimate. He can spawn in like 2 areas because they encompass like lava areas. Gravio spawns in a lot of areas. Glavnus spawns in a lot of areas. I mean, you can also fight Cianatar. You can fight Shogun Cianatar, but he normally will stay where like the Eructors are. Same with Ignactor, and then you also have that little thin strip where all the Renoploses are, and just like giving you shit when you're just trying to mine. So I'm just gonna say it's decent. It does kind of suck when you're trying to mine in that really good mining spot is so out your way up to the top. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it's the first Volcano map, so for its time, it's pretty decent. Origin Isle. This is the Shara. Hey, Shara, I'm gonna put you in B tier. I'm just gonna put Origin Isle in B tier. It's the Shara map. It's pretty cool. It changes phases. You have that little like rocky arena phase when Shara has his shell on, that rock shell on, and you can basically wallbang Shara into a certain part of the wall to get some stuns off, and then when Shara starts basically unraveling and showing himself, he basically will just scream out and destroy everything around him and making this little sandy arena. But what sucks about it is the quicksand kind of gets annoying. Shara's Ishvalda's ult is very easy to avoid, but all around, I do like maps that change segments. I think it's really cool. It's a decent map for what it is. Going on to the Polar Field. This is the map where you fight Yucanlos. This is Yucanlos's special arena, and I'm going to say it's going to be decent. It's really not that special. It's literally just an ice arena. It only really serves the purpose of Yucanlos giving you like snow blight and putting you in a snowman, like a snowman outfit. So I mean, that's about it. It's legit just that. So it's decent. Primal Forest. Now, Primal Forest is pretty cool. There's like this little part of the map where it's poisonous, and if you go in there, you can poison yourself. You can fight monsters like Tigrex, Emerald Kongalala, and what's his name? Wow, I actually can't remember the little like lemur elephant's name. It'll come to me possibly. Ash. I all right, this is gonna fucking annoy me. And Ash, I know, Monster Hunter, Ash, not Ash and Lao Shenlong, but it's like Ketchawacha. God, how can I forget Ketchawacha? Ketchawacha is actually really fun to fight. You can also fight Ketchawacha in here, and he has this little. And Ketchawacha, what's cool is he has this little unique, not animation, but same with Congalala, and same with Ketchawacha, and I believe Narcillas, when they are on those vines of Primal Forest and you hit them, they can also get stuck in the vine. So I think that's a really cool like an environmental interaction that they have with them. All around, I mean, I'd say it's a pretty decent map. It's just it's nothing special. It's nothing special, but I mean, it does its job good. It's not annoying. Nothing. The scenery doesn't really like strike me as much as like Ancestral Step. Ancestral Step, but yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Red Stronghold. This is the Stronghold map in Rise. Now, I know a lot of people probably don't like Stronghold maps, so they'd probably put it in D tier. But with me, I'm just gonna put it in C tier because I'm one of those people that actually like Strongholds every now and again. Like Strongholds. I like the whole rampage missions every now and again, you know? So playing on this kind of breaks up the monotony. So that's why I'm going to put it in C, but the rampage in itself does need some work, and I do think we need some more layouts to the Stronghold maps. It can be worked on. I can see potential in it. It's not perfect by all means, and I wouldn't even consider it decent, but hey, if they work on it a little bit more, hey, it can get to decent. But for me, it's out of D. So, but for you, it possibly can be in D. Now, moving on to the Rotten Vale. And where do we put the Rotten Vale? Nobody knows but me, and it's going to be a straight D. Holy shit, I'd rather play Freedom Unite, or not Freedom Unite, that's actually a good game. I'd rather play Monster Hunter Frontier than actually play on this map. Like, holy crap. Rotten Vale is so... It's dark. So sometimes traversing this map is very boring and very hard to see sometimes. There's either the top part or going down to the bottom part. You're always getting tick damage from the miasma, and I know it doesn't really matter as much later in the game when you play it and you're like fully like in-game hunter stuff, but when you're like going through the game, Rotten Vale is kind of a drag because you're always getting ticked down on the like miasma, and the only way you can counter it is if you have like 3 miasmas, but like 3 miasma jewels, but like you only really use that if you're countering Val Hazak. But like other than like constant tick damage, the very gross, like I understand why it's gross, it's rotting and a lot of scavengers and stuff like Odegaran are here, but it's very gross, it's very small, you only have really a top part and a bottom part, you're always getting constantly ticked down, there's poison plants, it's just really not, I really just don't like Rotten Vale. You might like Rotten Vale and that's fine, but for me, I really just don't like Rotten Vale. So, Ruined Pinnacle. I'm actually trying to... What? I'm trying to like look at the upcoming maps. Okay. Ruined Pinnacle is, I want to say I know this map, but I'm gonna be safe and look it up because I don't want to get this mixed up with another map. Ruined Pinnacle is, oh, is this where, no. This is a Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate map, and this is where you actually fight Valstrax. Yeah, this is where you fight Valstrax. Now, Ruined Pinnacle is actually pretty cool. I do like Ruined Pinnacle. It is Fugan approved. It is definitely Fugan approved. You have this little middle section where is ruins. You have this little to the left. You can go up a mountain, and it's like all windy and stuff. So it's a very cool little like I guess background change when you're fighting someone like Kieran or like Rathalos or a flying monster that who likes to be up on these high mountaintops. And then you have this little like area next to like this waterfall where like Shogun Sienatars and you know Daimyo Hermitars will chill out, or the water monsters will chill out. So I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a very beautiful map, I will say. You don't really like have to walk a long time to get to the monster you are hiding. I will suggest you paintball a monster, but for what it is Fugan approved. First map you actually do face Valstrax in. Very beautiful. I remember it dearly, even though I needed to look it up to see what it was. But anyways, the Sacred Lands. Now this is the lava arena that is Fugan approved. This was a 3rd gen map that you fight Alatreon in, but then they reused the map to where you fight Crimson Fatalis in a Cantor in. I want to say that, or am I getting Battlegrounds? Or am I getting Battlegrounds? Sacred Lands, Monster Hunter Generations. Let me make sure we actually fight Sacred Lands and Monster Hunter Generations. And it wasn't just in try. Okay, it's saying in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd and Monster Hunter Monster Hunter 3 or Monster Hunter Tri, Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Okay, so did I get the area mixed up? I possibly did. So what was Battlegrounds then? Battlegrounds. So what was Battleground then? Was this in Gen? Monster Hunter. I mean, it doesn't say it's in Gen. God damn it. Then if I'm all the lava battle maps look the same, and there's like no other pictures, so I can't really decipher if this is the map that I'm thinking of. All it says it's in, oh no, this is in Monster Hunter Generations. Okay, I messed up. Okay, so in a lapse of my judgment, Battlegrounds is actually supposed to be in Fugan Improved. Why? Because the little incline that like squishes down, right, is pretty cool, and you can actually get a lot of mounts in the Acantor arena and the Crimson Fatalis arena. So I mean, in that instance, it's cool because it has like a quirk, and I actually do like Battlegrounds. Sacred Land, I'm still gonna put in Fugan approved because this is the first this is the first map where we actually see Alatreon, and we actually see him just come over that huge molten lava fall, and you know, the cutscene was cool. The arena is kind of the same as Battlegrounds, but I'm just gonna put the Sacred Lands here mainly just for respect for the first ever time we meet Elatrion. Battlegrounds is here because I actually do like the map, and I got it mixed up with the Sacred Lands, so I am so sorry about that. Lava Canyon will still stay here because I never played Portable Third, so I can give it the benefit of the doubt. It's just an arena. I guess the arena looks pretty cool, but you know. Sacred Pinnacle, Umatsu. You know, this is definitely a real Lechuga Hours map. Why? Because you fight Umatsu in this huge ass hurricane. Lightning, high winds, and rain are just going crazy. And this is like next to Yucomo, right? So you still have that Yucomo feel. You have that beautiful, beautiful surrounding feel. And you are fighting one of the most gorgeous monsters. One of my favorite like large monster fights, or like forbidden monster fights in the game. And you are just going at it with Umatsu going up, sniping you, summoning gigantic tornadoes while this hurricane is just happening in the background. You have ballistas in the map. You also end up fighting G5 Silverwind on this map. I also think you fight EX Silverwind on this map too. I'm not sure. No. I think you fight all EX monsters in like the tower, but you do end up fighting G5 Silverwinds in the Sacred Pinnacle. It's very cool. You can get a lot of stuns off on monsters in there using the ballistas. So I guess that's really cool interaction. So with all that being said, real Lechuga Hours, very, very beautiful map. And coming on to another real Lechuga Hours map is the Sanctuary. And everyone knows that the Sanctuary is fucking lit. You fight none other than Shagaru Magala himself in this beautiful yet weird and strange just mountain. Like, it's the reason why you don't really see it is because it's actually dark. It's really dark, but Shagaru lights it up with like his whole like frenzy dust and whatnot, and it's just a beautiful like final battle on top of this mountain cliff. You have the safety rock, which is big. It's just really big in the Monster Hunter community as that rock that you go behind just to heal from Shagaru's onslaught. The fight, and this is just one of those instances where the fight makes the map and the map makes the fight, and that is why I'm giving it real Lechuga Hours. Then we have the Secluded Valley. This is where you fight Safi Jiva and Elatrion in Monster Hunter World. Now we're just going to basically kind of judge it off of the Safi fight, and you basically go down each level lower and lower, and you get rocks to, you know, hide you from the Sapphire of the Emperor. You have some rocks that you can basically toss down on Safi. I mean, it's pretty much just your run-of-the-mill arena. You go deeper and deeper. It does have a really cool quirk to where you can blow up the little gas caverns to do damage and knock over Safi. So for that, I mean, I give Secluded Valley a decent. I would go to Fugan approved, but like the Elatrion fight of it kind of lowers it down to decent because like the layout on that map is very terrible, and you're having to wall bang. Like when you try to wall bang Elatrion, since the map is circle, but the walls are positioned as triangle, like in a triangular form, and there's only 3 walls you can actually like wall bang them on, but they're all like, you know, they make a triangle. Elatrion has sometimes will slide off and completely miss the wall because he's trying to go straight, but since you're trying to get it at like a weird angle, like a specific angle, like he just ends up missing the wall and you just don't get the wall bang, and it's very annoying. But I mean, it's decent map. Moving on to the Celiana Supply Cache. Celiana Supply Cache. Celiana Supply Cache. I'm just gonna put it in Fugen Improved. I mean, it's a pretty cool arena. You have like a huge Dragonator. Well, not a Dragonator, but you have that like that Wyvern shot, Dragon shot, whatever. I totally forgot what it is. And you also have a roaming ballista. Yeah, ballistas or ballistas and whatnot. So cannons. So I mean, really, really cool map that allows you to be creative. It allows you to actually use heavy artillery and just do a lot of fun stuff and try to fight in another way. You end up fighting Velkhana in the story in this mission or in this map, and you also end up fighting Tempered Lunastra, Kushala, and Teostra at Master Rank 100 for the events to get more decorations. So this map is used sparingly. It's kind of special, I guess, because it's used sparingly. So I'm gonna give it to Fugen Approved. Very cool map. Shrine Ruins, Fugen Approved. I love the Shrine Ruins. It's a pretty decently sized map, but you can either get from the you can either go from point A, which is the main camp, which is all the way on the bottom of the map, to all the way to the top of the map at point B when you get the sub camp. I like how the map kind of separates itself from the monster fighting on the ground combat to the exploration point when you go up top in kind of like the canopies in the mountainous regions, much like the Frost Islands. I do kind of like this little mysterious, desolate, like weird, strange, spiritual like feeling of the Shrine Ruins. I do think it fits perfectly in Rise's aesthetic. The bomb badges are really fun to use. Getting all the like thunderbugs and mud beetles, like the endemic life, is really fun. And to me, I feel like, I don't know if it's because I've been just playing this map since the demo, but for me, I feel like Shrine Ruins has a lot of the endemic life and very easy to get to spots, unlike the other maps. And what makes this map really, really cool is that you can actually zip all the way from one end of the map to the other end of the map on using the Gunlance's switch skill, like that little jet powered boost, and you could basically just fly across the map. It is really fun to transverse. My only nitpick is that sometimes when you wire fall or you're trying to go somewhere or evade a monster using your wire bug, you might end up wall running by accident, and that's kind of annoying, but not too big of an annoyance. But yes, Shrine Ruins, definitely A tier, Fugen approved. Now you have Snowy Mountains Peak and Snowy Mountains or Arctic Ridge. They are the same map. These are the Generation 2 ice maps from Poke Mountains, Poke Village. It's I mean, the layout is weird because you get to that point where in the center of the map, after scaling up the mountain, you get to that point of the center of the map, and you can either go in a few different ways. You can either go into the lower part of the cave system where not that many, I don't think any monsters spawn unless Kezu spawns over there, and then you can go into the larger or not the larger, or you can go up to the cliff area where almost all the monsters spawn. I will say it does have that same feeling. Obviously it's snow map, so you're not going to really expect like lush backgrounds, but it does have that kind of same feeling when you fight a lot of the monsters, because you're fighting them in essentially one of three spots, and possibly one of two spots, because honestly, like thinking back on it, you fight Rajang, like Rajang and Blanganga, and I believe Gamma literally go back and forth, and I think Gendrum will go into that middle section, and only Kezu will go into like the lower cave section. And in Generations Ultimate, you have like this Easter egg with the Kezu Lash. I don't know if it's still there in Gen 2, but if the Kezu Lash is still there in Gen 2, I mean, it has a little cool Easter egg if you go all the way up to the top and you scale all the way up to the top of the mountain. So I mean, it's decent. It's decent. The layout's kind of boring, but like, you know, there's at least a quirkiness to it. And then you have the Sandy Plains in the Sandy Plains 5th gen, the 3rd gen Sandy Plains and the 5th gen Sandy Plains. Now, the 3rd gen Sandy Plains, I believe I've never actually fought on it. I want to say I never fought on Sandy Plains 3rd generation because I can't really remember the layout, but the remake in the 5th gen is actually pretty cool. Yeah, that I will say it does suck because if you do mess up on a wire bug, you will end up super far down and you'll have to climb yourself out. But I mean, trying to transverse the map is really easy. You have like 3 camps in the 5th gen, and I don't believe in the 3rd gen Sandy Plains was that hard to transverse because normally desert maps aren't really that too complicated. So for all that being said, I'm just gonna put it in decent. I mean, they're pretty good. And Sandy Plains and 5th gen also has that little special endemic life that actually if you activate it or antagonize them, they're cannons and they'll start shooting at they'll start shooting at the monsters. So I think that's really, really fun. Oh wow, we have like 2 more rows to get to. This has been a very long stream. Holy crap. Anyways, we have the Tip Crag. The Tip Crag is Dalmadur's and Shaw Dalmadur's little special arena because they're forbidden monsters. And, you know, I mean, it's cool. I feel like with this arena, it's honestly... Okay, so with the arena, it's honestly a little bit boring. I'm not going to lie. It's very small. It's mainly, you know how I'm talking about in like S tier, the fight makes the map and the map makes the fight. Well, in this, it's really only the fight that makes the map. So, I mean, for that, I'm just going to put it in Fugen Approved. It's a really cool map. You fight Dalmadur, and you're just so amazed by this gigantic snake elder dragon that you don't really realize how small the map is, and you can do a lot of cheesy shit to Dalmadur. It's more of a cinematic map, and if you basically kind of stick, like, you stay away from Dalmadur's face, and you just attack his body, and, you know, avoid a couple of stray fireballs, then you're pretty much good. And it just kind of makes this fight a little bit boring at times. But the first time around when you actually, like, fight him in this map is really cool and beautiful. So I'm just going to give it to Fugen Approved. Sunken Hollow. So, let me... where's so like England, like Ingle Isle, Sunken Hollows is, I believe, technically the water map for Monster Hunter 4 and Monster Hunter 4 Alt. It's essentially the same map layout as Ingle Isle, but instead of lava, everything's replaced as water. So for that, I'm just going to put it at B. Because it much like the same, like it has much of the same problems of Ingle Isle, as in some spots are way too small, but you know, the only benefit of Sunken Hollow, I would say, is you don't have to use cool drinks. That's it. Swamp or Marshlands. Now, Swamp or Marshlands. This is Swamp is Monster Hunter Freedom, or Monster Hunter Dose is like 2nd generation Swamp map, because Old Swamp was Old Swamp was Monster Hunter 1, so Swamp is Monster Hunter 2, and Marshlands is the remake in Generations. And this map is very, very self-explanatory. It's legit just a circle. You will never get lost in this map. And actually, I'm just, fuck it. I'm actually going to put it in Fugen Approved, because Swamp is so straightforward that literally you can find everything very quick. If you want to fight Dread Queen Rathian, you will find her very quick. You find Basarios, you just look for the rock. You can just go around in a circle, look for the rock. It has a cave system where you can mine in the center and also to the side. There's also the caves where like Kezu and Shogun Sienitar will be, and also Rust Razor Sienitar will be. And there's also a glitch if you can get yourself at the cave before Rust Razor will be like shot down and come down. You basically have to try to, I kind of forget where specifically you go, but in TLDR, the glitch is you activate the Rust Razor fight, you try to glitch yourself in the wall with the heavy bowgun, you bring like a shit ton of ammunition to make spare ammos and mass combiner, and you basically use Valor mode and completely just shred Rust Razor Sienitar, because what will happen is the AI will know where you are at and will walk all the way over to you, but since you're in the wall, you actually won't get hurt. So you could basically just freely gun him down with Zenogre's heavy bowgun. So yeah, that is why I say marshlands are Fugan approved, mainly just due to the glitch where you can just solo farm Rust Razor Sienitar. The Tainted Sea. Dire Morales. We're never going to get this area ever again. But for what it is, it's cool. Tainted Sea is Fugan approved. You fight Dire Morales. And the backstory is like this whole sea is tainted red with the blood of monsters in it because Dire Morales essentially cooked the whole sea and basically killed everything in it. So that's pretty cool. The backstory is really nice. Again, it's like the only reason why I would say Fugan approved is because I don't really like the water portion of the map as what I could see. Obviously, I never played Try. But from what I could see from looking up reviews and stuff, the water portion of the map would kind of get weird, and obviously the water mechanics in 3rd Gen was a little bit janky. And then you also have the land portion, but I feel like this map mixes the water portion and the land portion really, really nice with a huge ass black dragon. Sadly, we'll never see that black dragon ever again unless they rework the fight or something. I just give up hope on ever trying to fight Dire Morales outside of 3rd Gen Monster Hunter, but it's Fugan improved. Now we have literally like 3 towns. We legit have 4 towns. Like what is this? We have 4 towns, or not 4 towns. We have 4 towers, and I legit don't know which one is which. So give me like 1 second to try to look up which one. So we got Tower Summit, Tower 2, and Tower 3. I don't know why they didn't put them in order, but oh well. So let's go Tower 2. Tower 2 Monster Hunter. And this is the second tower. God damn it. Like, Jesus. This was in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, and this is where you fight Yamasukami. I don't really know why they had to reuse all the towers, but I mean, I've never fought Yama, and I'm just going to say this is where the fight makes the map makes the fight. Obviously, Yama can't really exist in any other thing, any other place, and this kind of fits Yama. So I'm just gonna put it in Fugan approved because I know Yamasukami, from what I heard, is like a really, really fun fight, and I really wish Yamasukami will come back and rise. And if we get this map, that'd be cool, like a rise rendition of the map. That'd be really, really awesome. So I'm just going to go into Fugen approved for the benefit of the doubt for all my Freedom Unite peeps. I'm going to try to figure out a way to play Freedom Unite, and I possibly do have a way to play Freedom Unite. So let's see where that goes. Then we got Tower 3. Let's check out what's Tower 3? Tower 3 is the place where you fight Silver Rathalos, Gold Rathian, and Kieran in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. It was also in Monster Hunter Gen, so I believe I remember this. I believe I do remember this area, and I also think it was in Monster Hunter. Yeah, it is in Monster Hunter Frontier Online. That's probably where I remember this. Honestly, honestly speaking, it's in Monster Hunter Generations, this area is renamed to the Forlorn area and has received various ledges for jump attacks, and the camp area also contains a supply box. You can also fight Lucent Nargacuga in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate with this. Okay, so this one is very weird, because I either say it's indecent, but it's so similar to the other ones. I guess I'm just gonna put it indecent, because it's just an arena map. You fight, like, some deviants in it, but it's very barren. It's very barren. So let's go with Tower Summit. Why do we have so many towers? Like, do we fight Molten? Yep, this is the place where we fight Molten Tigrex. Now, this is the tower that I remember, and it was first introduced in Monster Hunter 4, because I remember going through this tower. I remember going through this tower in Monster Hunter 4, and I would say this is like the tower that I remember, and I'm gonna give Fugen approved for it. This tower in B, I really don't remember, but it looks really barren. Like, from the pictures I can see it looks very, very barren and just void of all life. So I'm just gonna put it in decent. And then we get to the final tower, and it's just called Tower. So this is like Monster Hunter Tower 1. So many towers. This is the tower itself is crumbling structure that climbs beyond the clouds. It is believed that the tower is built using Kushala Daora materials, hence why you may find decayed dragon skills when mining. The top of this tower returns in Monster Hunter 4. So, I mean, it says top of this tower returns to Monster Hunter 4. Oh, wait, I think I kind of understand it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've never played on this map because this is a Generation 2 only map. And you basically aren't on the tower. You're on top of the tower in Generation 4 when you're fighting, like, Molten Tigrex. You're at the outside of the tower, like, you're on the outside of the tower in Freedom Unite. And you, I mean, I'm trying to look. There's the tower base, and then you're inside the tower. So, I mean, that's cool. I would like to play it. I don't really have an actual, like, understanding of how it feels. So I can't really say it needs work. I can't really say D. I can only really split the difference and go B. So for all you guys in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, please leave down in the comments, or Gen 2 Monster Hunters, please leave down in the comments if this map was good or not, and then I'll just kind of say it's either in C or D. And then we have Town or Battle Quarters, where you fight Rusted Kushala and Gogmazios in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Now, you are in Dundorma. I mean, I guess it's cool. It's like this little, like, kind of castle siege thing. Like, monsters are coming and fighting. I do like the setup in the story when you set up for the fight of Rusted Kushala. I'm actually super close to fighting Gogmazios. I do think this map is Fugan approved. I do like the little... I like the whole little... setup. It actually reminds me a lot of Celiana's supply cache, honestly, just with like a little bit more, like just with like cooler fights. It's one of those things that like the fight makes the map and the map makes the fight, but I don't think it's to the point where it's like S tier. I don't think it's to the point where it's like an S tier, because it still has the same layout as Celiana Supply Cache, so it's still pretty barren and simple. Or if I'm missing something, I'm going to look up it just so I make sure I'm not missing something. Oh, Town was introduced in Monster Hunter 2, but it was brought back for Rusted Kushala in 4, and it got remade into Battle Quarters. Battle Quarters in Monster Hunter. You're in Dundorma, and you basically have like the third area, the first area, yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's basically your own little supply cache. So, yeah, Fugan approved. And then we come into Tundra. What the? Do I even remember this? Okay, give me like 1 second. Tundra. What is the Tundra map? Monster Hunter World, or not Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter. Man, I'm actually in a world mood. This is a map that came in Monster Hunter 3, Monster Hunter Portable Monster Hunter Portable Third, and I believe Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Yep, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and Monster Hunter Explore. Okay. I believe Stygian Zenogre. Yep, Stygian Zenogre was on this, and oh my lord. I mean, from the layout, it looks confusing, but I know that it's really not that confusing. It's just a lot of pathways that are kind of jumbled together to make it kind of seem like it's confusing. Again, I haven't fought it. I haven't fought on this map, and I only believe I've seen this map through a playthrough, honestly. So this is kind of like one of those awkward times that I can't really give you a full-on like breakdown of the map. So the only thing I can really go do is just put Tundra in decent, and if you guys in the comments let me know how good or terrible this map was, then just let me know so I can put it in C or D. But Underwater Ruin, this is where you fight Abyssal Lagiacrus, Sadius, and Goldbeard Sadius. Now, you do... Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. You are underwater the whole time, and like I said, the underwater mechanics are janky. And I could say it needs work, right? Actually, I'm going to put it in needs work. And the only reason why I would say it needs work is because the underwater mechanics bring the map down, but the map looks cool and it has a lot of really fun fights in the map. But the water mechanics need to be fixed, but obviously we're never gonna get water mechanics going back, like coming back going forward with the series. So I mean, it's kind of forever stuck in sea. It's just forever stuck in sea. But I mean, and they can't really remake the map because the whole point of this map is to be underwater. So it's just, yeah. I don't think it's bad. I don't think the map is bad. I just think the underwater mechanics just kind of hold it back from being enjoyable, at least for me. Volcano Second Gen. So this is old Volcano, but second gen version of Volcano. So I'm just gonna put it in decent. I'm just gonna put it in decent because it's I believe it's just a remake. I can see what they changed about it. Volcano Second Gen Monster Hunter. Yeah, I legit think this is just, yeah, I think this is just a remat of what is that? I'm looking at the layout. Yeah, I actually do think this is just a remap of old Volcano. So I'm just gonna put it in decent because the same things that I said about old Volcano goes to a second gen Volcano. And then we have Volcano Third Gen. Okay, then we have Volcano Third Gen. Wait, Single Isle. Oh my lord. I messed up. I just saw, okay, I messed up. So Ingle Isle actually is supposed to be in A tier because this is where the little area that you fight like Elatrion and Hellblade Glavenus and Jin, and that's what it's cool. Battleground, however, I've never fought on Battleground. I believe it literally seems similar. So I'm gonna put Battleground back at decent because I don't believe I ever played it, and if I did play it, then it'd probably be Fugan approved. But like I just don't remember it. Again, I got everything mixed up with Ingle Isle, and that's kind of fun. That's kind of funny. Actually, that's actually really fucking funny, to be honest. That's actually really funny because it's Volcanic Hollow. That is the volcanic version of Sunken Hollow, and I completely messed that up. And just to be safe, let me look up the map. Let me look up the map layouts. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I messed it up. I completely messed it up, and that's on me. I'm so sorry. And Volcanic Hollow is just, yep, Volcanic Hollow is just fire version of Sunken Hollow. Yep. Okay, there we go. So everything that I said, everything I said about Ingle Isle thinking it was Volcanic Hollow is legit. Is legit everything that I have to say about Volcanic Hollow, and that's B tier. Ingle Isle, A tier. Fugan approved. I legit love how the platform falls into the center. Battleground, I've never played it, so. Same with Lava Canyon. And then we get to Volcano Third Gen, which I don't know if it got a remake. I doubt it did get a remake, but third Gen Volcano. Yeah, I've never made this. Or never made this. Yeah, I've never played this, so I can't really say anything about it. Cannot give any critiques about it. Never played it. So I guess it's decent. Again, let me know what you think about the map in the comments. And now we're for the final two. Wild Spire Waste. Wild Spire Waste is pretty good. I would say it's Fugan approved. It's one of the better maps in World, honestly. It's pretty big. You have like a couple multiple areas. The little swamp area doesn't really get used as much. You only really face Baroth and Juratotis, but it's mainly used for Juratotis. It's fairly easy to transverse. You have like two camps, or not two camps. You have like a multitude of camps actually. Fairly easy places to fish. A little foresty area. And some pretty fun places to like transverse and just go up and like climb your way up, and also has like some quicksand traps and whatnot. So yeah, Wildspire Waste is definitely a Fugan approved. And then we have our last but not least map, which is Wyvern's End, and this map is going all the way up to Lechuga hours, real Lechuga hours. Only real Lechugas play on this map. This is the Narcarcos map. You basically start the map from a cliff, you jump into like this whole huge ravine just to fight Narcarcos below, and it's just this place where it's just filled with bones and everything, and you have ballistas, you fight Narcarcos. It's just a really fun map, and this is one of those maps that the monster makes the map makes the monster. Why? Because if you get tar blighted and you roll around, you basically get the whole snowman blight effect, but instead of having snow, it's actually bones stuck onto you from rolling due to the tar blight. It's really fun. It's just a really fun it's just a really fun map. You only face Narcarcos in it. So, and with all that being said, that is our final, and I mean our final list. I am actually fairly surprised that we only have three. We only actually have 3 maps in D tier, and one of them is literally a map from Frontier. So, and that's the only reason why it's in D tier. And with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other ideas of where maps should be in your own opinions, please let me know down that in the comment section. We'll have a nice discussion about it. And with all that being said, check out my previous videos, check out my Monster Hunter Rise build guides, and check out my future videos, and be sure to catch my streams on twitch.tv/AnimeALX, and follow me on Twitter at AnimeALX. The links will be in the description below. With all that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and see you guys in the next one. Peace out, all my fellow weebs and weebas.